what are the winters like in Central Oregon, especially right after a storm. People are thinking about, how do I get to work, and what's it like just getting around town. So that there's a big range from the east side of Bend, where I'm going to take some video, and then I'm going to show you all across town, different neighborhoods right after a little storm. And then I'm also going to be driving around Tumalo Falls area as well, just for some fun. And the vehicle I'm driving is a new. Got my walkie-talkie on. I'm going to be driving my 4Runner. Okay, so it's like a 2024 4Runner, really capable vehicle. So you don't need to have a vehicle like a 4Runner. You can have anything all-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. I recommend all-wheel drive though, because it's just going to be in 4-wheel drive essentially. I won't get into all that, but if you're not used to driving in ice and snow, it's nice to just maybe go with an all-wheel drive vehicle, but you're going to need it. Okay, so that's part of moving to the Northwest, is having the right vehicle. Absolutely don't think that you're going to come here with front-wheel drive year round. That would be fine for most of the year, but you're going to get into winter and you're going to be a problem to other people on the road. You don't want that. So let's go. So I realize that this is a long video, and it's going to appeal to those who are really serious about being in Central Oregon. And I've helped so many people make this transition that I'm used to the concerns that people have, especially if you're coming from a warmer climate. A lot of my clients from San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco area, Bay Area, Sacramento, they've never necessarily or not that often driven or lived in snow and ice. And so there's always these concerns, about it. I've had a few clients that were very worried about it. So I wanted to show you real life driving around town. And I kind of started this morning on the east side of town. It was kind of gray and ugly, and I kind of just drove through town. I ended up downtown. If you'll wait toward the end of this, or if you put this on a fast play, so like put your finger on the left up-hand corner of the screen on the video, and it'll go into a faster speed, and you can go through this in about 15 minutes. But toward the end, it was really fun. I was driving in over by Tumalo Falls area, and that's not a neighborhood. I was like in this really steep road, and that wasn't a paved road. That was a dirt road that I've often ridden on my bike, and so it's kind of fun to watch. But anyways, check that out. It's right at the end of the video. I just wanted to give real life feedback, and I wanted you to see what downtown was like. After we had like 4 inches of snow, and it was really a light powdery snow. So this was pretty easy to manage. And as the day progressed, the sun came out. It was absolutely a gorgeous day. They ended up having over a foot of fresh powder up on Mount Bachelor last night when I made this video. And just absolutely stunning. Little ugly in the morning, like you can see kind of gray, but as the day went by, it got beautiful. So here I am downtown, and was just kind of wanted to show you what the parking was like, and here I'm heading down toward Drake Park, the Deschutes River right there on the right. And I wish you could see this in the summertime when the trees are all bloomed, but it's good for you to see it in the middle of winter when everything is dormant. That's one of the reasons I'm making this video. I wanted to be thorough and give you a really good perspective of what it's like to drive around in Bend on a snowy winter morning. Kind of weaved my way around the west side quite a bit. Yeah, this is a historical area in Bend, and there's some really beautiful neighborhoods. If you go through my channel, you'll find plenty of videos where I've shown properties all over Bend, and you will see a ton of walkthrough videos that I do. If you like this area, you could always send me a message and ask me, at X, whatever the minutes are, like at 3 minutes, 20 seconds, what part of town are you in? And then I can look at it and get back to you. And don't hesitate to ask me any questions. And don't feel like there are any bad questions. I'm happy to advise you on what vehicles I recommend for, winter driving, or just a good all-around vehicle for Bend, being in the Northwest. Tires, what tires to buy. I've literally gone down to Les Schwab tires and helped people pick out the right tires. Definitely have some opinions on these things, and for good reason. I'll give you an example. I don't advise buying studded snow tires. Everybody thinks that studded snow tires are the ultimate, but really there's some problems with studded snow tires. One of the big problems is that the studs will pull out of the tires and the tires will be out of balance. The other issue is that there is a deadline when you need to change your snow tires out if you have studs, because the studs are really hard on the roads. They're loud and they tear up the blacktop. So there are laws that require you to remove your tires in the springtime. And the problem with that is that oftentimes winter is not over. A lot of times people pull their studded snow tires off and they have their year-round tires on, and then it'll snow. That's a problem. Now it's, you can't drive the car. So what I do is I recommend a snow rated tire that is siped. Siping is a process of cutting through the rubber. They have a machine that cuts through the rubber. It doesn't harm the tire, but it makes the tire really excellent at grabbing the ice. And you could run these tires year-round on your car if you wanted to. So it doesn't put you under any time restraints, gives you an excellent traction tire. And that's what I do on my cars. So there you go. I have other videos too. If you want to look through my YouTube channel, I have other videos that I talk about these things. It might be kind of a repeat of what I'm saying right now, but I have done these drive around videos over the years, as I've been living in Bend, Oregon for about 30 years. And I've seen the highs and lows. I've seen a lot of winters that were about like the one we've had this year, not extreme snowfall. Only a few years, 2 or 3 years that I've been here, that we've had snowfall to the level that it was difficult and it was really inconvenient, or it was really causing problems with transportation, safety, or even harming homes and buildings around Bend. 2017 is an example of that. We actually had several schools that had the gymnasiums cave in because the snow load was so heavy. The old Safeway building on the west side caved in. Nobody was harmed. Nobody was hurt. Thank God. There were a lot of homes that, probably 1,000 houses in Bend, that had ice dams. You can Google ice dam. You can see what the problem was. And the problem that year was that we had consecutive storms that were significant, and the snowfall was exceedingly wet. And our homes are really not built for excessive weight load. Our snow in Bend is generally very dry, very powder-like, just like the one we had last night, where you could literally blow the snow off your car, and it's just easy to deal with. It's very light. Well, that year, 2017, we had excessive snowfall, and for an extended period of time, and we even had rainfall that caused the snow to become very heavy, and it caused a lot of problems for people. And there were a lot of people, including myself, that had a home that was affected by a snow dam. So that's something we don't usually have to worry about. You can Google it. You can probably find a lot of videos on it. But back to the tour basically I'm giving today. This is the Northwest Crossing area. A lot of beautiful homes here around Discovery Park is where I'm at right now. And it's just gorgeous. The homes are high-end real estate in this neighborhood. On this particular street overlooking Discovery Park, you probably couldn't buy anything in the street for under $2 million, and $2 to $3 million on this street. If you're lucky, maybe 1.8, right at where the market is at right now. So it's pretty desirable. It's a beautiful part of town. There's a lot that goes on in the summertime. You're very near to great restaurants, activities, farmers market, also access to the biking trails. There's just so much, there's lifestyle advantages in this part of town. So hopefully, if you get into Bend, I'd be happy to advise you and give you some ideas about some things that you could do if you're in this area. Yeah, there's some really nice short-term rental properties too in this area that you could get, and that would put you in biking distance to a lot of fun activities. And if you're really into mountain biking, you should really check out Phil's Trail. So Google Phil's Trail, and you can't come to Bend without renting an e-bike, or an e-bike. An e-bike, but a mountain bike, and possibly, maybe even an electric mountain bike, and do some exploring on the trails on the northwest part of Bend, Oregon. Literally, Phil's Trail would keep you busy for days if you're going to be mountain biking. Otherwise, road biking, absolutely amazing. There's so many beautiful scenic bike rides. And I could introduce you to some friends of mine that are avid bike riders that do street riding. I'm probably using the wrong terminology because I don't do that type of bike riding. I do mountain bike, and I do own 5 different bikes. I have a lot of bikes. Also love to kayak and just explore the Northwest. The Northwest is absolutely gorgeous place to be. I just love exploring all the way to Oregon. Oregon coast is absolutely stunning. And recently we spent some time in Eastern Oregon, which was so much better than I thought it was going to be. You've got the Painted Hills, you've got the Strawberry Mountains. If you're exploring the eastern side of Oregon, you will not be disappointed. You will not be disappointed. So I hope you can do that. I'd be happy to share my travels if we can ever meet and talk about it. Love to advise you there as well. Yeah, more here on my tour, more of northwest area of Bend. Very desirable neighborhoods, and they all have that great access to the outdoor lifestyle that I'm talking about. Feel free to send me questions too as I'm taking you through these neighborhoods. If you're curious about price ranges and schools, public schools are are really good here. The high school in the area here would be Summit High School. And you notice the trees on the west side. A lot of people really want to be, in the tall trees. And this particular area, I have some good friends that live on this street. The snow can really fall heavy here, but the mountain view here is absolutely stunning. Right now, I can't, when I took my drive this morning, it was cloudy. But my friends, you see these homes on the left there? Those views are spectacular. Oh my God, you wouldn't believe it. Yeah, and this part of town is I can't get over it. If you're so blessed that you could be looking in this area, real estate really ranges on the very lowest side. I would say in the 850, 900 range, and it's not hard to spend $1 million anymore on the west side of Bend. It's you're going to be in that 1 million to 2 million range. If you're in that range, there are a lot of good options. But when you want the best view and you want the best neighborhood and you want to have a big yard and you want something that doesn't need to be updated or remodeled, 1.5 to 2 million is pretty easy in this part of town. There is real estate on the west side of Bend that is in the 2 to 3 million range, with some properties ranging even higher, maybe even up to 5 million. And if you know, I'd be happy to tour you around to show you why. It has a lot to do with how close you are to the lifestyle activities that I've been talking about, the high mountain lakes, proximity to mountain biking, just being able to get into the outdoors. And this is a luxury that is becoming more and more desirable. People are finding out about Bend, Oregon, and Central Oregon in general. Now, this particular neighborhood that I'm driving through right now is very unique because it sits right up next to National Forest. It has an unobstructed view of the Cascade Mountain Range, and there is nothing that can block your view. It's unobstructed. It's very exclusive, and properties in this particular neighborhood, Three Pines, will range probably starting in close to 3 million. And in not too very long, properties in this neighborhood will be 3 to 5 million. So sales happen occasionally, not often in this area. These homes are all custom homes. There were no spec homes in this neighborhood. These are all very exclusive, very high-end finishes that are pretty much all built around the view and super easy. Basically ride right out of your garage on your bike, and you're in some of the most gorgeous, most beautiful view location that you're going to find anywhere in the Northwest. So you're not going to get that without paying a top dollar, and hopefully you understand that, because that's just the nature of the real estate here, right on the most westerly you can be real estate in Bend, Oregon. Now, when I moved to Bend, none of these homes existed. This was all just forest not that long ago. Over the last 15 years, the last 15, 16 years, all of this real estate has been developed. There won't be a lot of building on the west side in the future because the homes are built right up to National Forest already. This is some of the last real estate that you can get unobstructed views. So nothing can be built to the west of you. And it's really stunning. If you have the opportunity to purchase real estate in this area, it's really a final destination. These are incredible homes. And I'm just weaving through some of the surrounding neighborhoods here. These homes will range in the 1 million plus, range, maybe 1 to 2.5-ish. They take really good care of the roads. I was a little surprised today that the roads in some of these neighborhoods had not been already plowed more thoroughly. A little surprised. Bend is not a town that is prepared for a lot of snow. When we get storms back to back, road conditions can be not great. That's why I wanted to show you what it was like this morning after, one storm. That, you're going to have most of a day or two where you're going to have snow and ice on the road. Generally, the sun comes out, it's going to warm up, it's going to melt off. You're going to have, by the end of the day today, you'll see toward the end of my video, downtown, the roads were already melted off and in really good condition. So it's really interesting how fast the road conditions can improve in Bend. Really, in one day, you can go from not being able to, drive without special traction tires to no problem at all. The other thing about the west side of Bend is the elevation is 3,500 feet and over. Whereas the east side of Bend, where I started my video this morning, is a little bit lower. It's closer to 3,000, 3,200. And it's really interesting what a difference that can make in snowfall. So the west side, you'll have more snowfall than the east side. I didn't tour too many of the east side neighborhoods in this video because I really wanted to get into more snowfall to show you with this recording. If you're planning a trip to Bend, Oregon, make sure that you give me a call and we can connect while you're in town. MrBendOregon.com is in fact the name of my company. And you can go there and find my contact information and a lot of information about Bend, Oregon, resources, tour companies, great restaurants, things to do in Bend. I have a lot of companies listed. Even if you want to rent a bike while you're in town, there's several bike shops listed that you can. I do recommend in advance trying to make reservations for any of the tours that you might do. And I highly recommend the Sunset Dinner Tour that you can do. It's up at Mount Bachelor, where you can have dinner up there, take the ski lift to the top of the mountain, have dinner up there, watch the sunset. It's spectacular. One of the most underrated tours that you can do while you're in Bend. And you get a great dinner also. Yeah, this is all Northwest Crossing area. A lot of this real estate is very new. There's a lot of construction still going on the west side. This is up near Tetherow Crossing. Just a lot of variety too. There are townhouses, and single family dwellings that you can do. Now, here's an example. They're building in some commercial space. This is going to be a fun little extension from Northwest Crossing area that'll be really fun in the future. There'll be some restaurants here. Be great. I'm really looking forward to seeing this completely developed and finished. Some of the last real estate that is currently being built in the area. Pretty shortly, I'm going to be heading up toward Tumalo Falls. I'm pretty sure, well, I was hoping that I was going to be able to take you all the way into Tumalo Falls, but they had the road blocked. So I went a little different road, and I hit some pretty heavy snowfall. You guys might enjoy watching that at the end of the video. One of the main complaints about real estate on the west side is the size of the lots are pretty small, and even for Bend in general. West side real estate generally isn't going to have a big backyard. These are smaller lots. It's because access to the outdoors is so much easier. So here I'm driving up toward Tumalo Falls, and you can see the snowfall just kind of gets a little heavier, a little heavier. Trees get a little taller, a little more dense. Now, I love this area. In the summertime, I'll be doing a lot of mountain biking up in this location. And this is where you'll find Phil's Trail as well. Here we go, across the Deschutes River right here. And there are actually homes up in this area. Not too many of them. There's a few. There's a resort up here as well. But here, this is basically now I'm getting off onto a forestry road. And I have mountain biked this entire road. It's quite a climb. And I highly recommend that you check it out if you have the right vehicle. Definitely, while I was making this drive, I was concerned. I wasn't sure that I was going to get stuck. Had to get into low gear in my 4Runner, and then had to lock it all up so that I could make it up this road. There were no other vehicles. There were a few people that went up before I did, but you can see how rough the road got as I got way out there on this road. It was super fun. Backcountry fun drives. There were some snowmobiles out here. Super easy if you're into snowmobiling. There's miles and miles and miles and miles, literally hundreds of miles of roads you can be on and just enjoy all kinds of snowmobiling out here. Almost to the top. Can't really tell how steep this road is, but it is pretty darn steep. Any steeper and I wouldn't have been able to get up it. I turned it around right here because after this point right here, there would have been no going back. So I spun it around. You can see Mount Bachelor right there. And then back down. Oh, this was a super fun day. I ended up spending about an hour out there. Okay, back to in town. See, the roads have already gotten melted down to blacktop. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. If you're still watching, I know you're pretty serious about Bend, Oregon, and I hope that you'll contact me and we can make an appointment to just meet at least while you're in town. But if you have any questions about living in Bend, Oregon, I would love to help you. It's Paul Frazier, here in Central Oregon, 30 years. If you enjoyed this content, I'd appreciate the support. Like, follow, subscribe, and I'll keep it coming from MrBendOregon.com. Have a great day.